I'm Andrew Brooks, and today I'm going to talk to you about a solution we have for trying to get CATQR data into OLM. Now, usually this is quite a long and arduous process, which involves a lot of manual input and cross-referencing with spreadsheets and everything. But I'm going to show you a tool I've used in order to automate this process. So I'm just going to share my screen. Right, so what you're seeing here is a flow I've built in Power Automate. Essentially, Power Automate is a free Windows installation and Windows program. And essentially, the way it works is that there's a list of actions here alongside. You drag them in to perform your flows, and this involves things such as browser automation, even desktop automation, and you can do things with Excel and Word and Outlook on here as well. There's also this recorder feature, which essentially when you hit record, it will record all the actions you're doing and implement them into these sort of steps here that you see. So what I'm going to show you here is essentially my flow goes through and it downloads the data from CAT with the list of who attended the class. And then eventually what it does is it opens up OLM and it starts putting them in after creating a class. Just these subflows here are just different functions that occur within it that I've built. This one's an important one to note though. This is the class list. So this name is how it appears in CAT. For us on OLM, it's quite similar how the naming standard appears as well, but albeit with the prefix of the site number that we have on there. So essentially you can add a number of classes here and it will iterate through those. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to click run and then you should see it pop up and start running, and I'll talk through it as it goes. Hopefully I'll be able to keep up. So essentially here what it's doing is it's loaded up CATQR and it's logging me in using my credentials that I've input into the automation. So once this screen's loaded, what it's going to go do is it's going to take 7 days worth of data. I'm using a test class here, so that would be the only class that appears in that data set. But you can see here it's changing, it's looking for that specific class within those 7 days. You can change the date how you want. That's just purely how you build the automation, so it's up to you. So now that it's got the Excel downloaded, essentially what it's doing in the background is it's performing a lookup. I've written some PowerShell in there. I might show it a little bit later. But essentially the PowerShell is it's retrieving our ESR data file and it's taking the national insurance numbers that are in the export from CAT and it's comparing them with the ESR file, and then it's going in and putting in employee numbers. So sorry, I just missed that there, but essentially it's loaded up OLM. It's searching for the offering. See, I've got it designated as test in CATQR, and what it's going to do now is it's going to go and create a class. Now, what it's essentially done is it's reading the file in different, it's essentially split into different lists. And what it's going to do now is it's going through that list of employees and it's going to add the learners one by one. So yeah, you can see it's putting in the employee number. I think that's me. Yep. So it's going to tick that. It's going to add me to it. It's going to go through and it's going to go do the next learner and so on and so forth. And it's essentially a loop for as many names as there are in the file. So essentially what it's going to do now is it should hang on this next one. Do you see? So that one had no employee number. That was because I deliberately put a test account into the class just so I can show you that I can pick up the error trapping and send an Excel sheet that has the ones that it missed on there. So yeah, it's going through, it's adding the last person in and essentially it's applying, and so now they're all confirmed enrollments on that course. So now what it's going to do is it should send me an email with the list of the people that it missed. It should just be that one that we saw earlier. And yeah, that's essentially it. It's gone and it's populated the class. It created the class, and you can, as I said before, with that class list, you can go through and you can iterate it for as many as possible. So I'll just quickly go through some of this stuff. So yeah, as you see, this is the username and password part. This is where I wait for the file to specifically appear in my downloads before I pick it up. This is essentially what I was talking about here, this is the lookup that I've written in PowerShell in order to go and retrieve the employee number. Is quite simple PowerShell script. It's not nothing flashy. Essentially, I should have the email now. So if we look here, so yeah, so this is what it's done. It's sent me the email, and it should just have that one test account. Yeah, and so you see it here. So obviously the national insurance number is complete gibberish. I know it says employee number here, but I actually, in my script, I put them in column A. So the fact that that's blank means that it didn't go through. So this way that, you know, this would go to the administrator and they could have a look at the name and then enter them manually if they need to, or, you know, correct any details if they're incorrect here. So yeah, that's essentially it. It can be adapted quite easily. There are some slight problems. Obviously, OLM is very click intensive. So I've got quite a few wait functions in, just in order to give the you know, OLM some time to load before it clicks the next action. But yeah, essentially, I've got some error trapping in so that it, you know, as you saw before, when it doesn't find an employee, it just it goes to the next record and so on and so forth. And yeah, as I said, you can adapt it for multiple classes, so we don't have to just do one class at a time. But as you saw, it was actually quite rapid and quick. And yeah, essentially that's our solution at the moment. So yeah, I mean, if you could contact us and let us know what you think, that'd be great. Thanks.